Hey guys, welcome back. Andre here. So in the previous video I spoke about having a solid and a strong enough why for going into business or for starting a specific business, and if that's in place, it'll just carry you through and make your journey so much more easier when all of the adversity and the difficult days come, which they will come. Okay, so many of you may be thinking, because I know it was something that I struggled with in the beginning, because you always hear, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, and that's not a lot of rubbish. It's the absolute truth. But it's very difficult to find what you're passionate about, okay? And if you don't know how to find what you're passionate about, I shared it in a previous video again, you can do, quite a few things to find out what you're passionate about. So, what I would recommend is maybe starting out in terms of something, that you have a keen interest in. So maybe you love animals, okay? So just don't get stuck into analysis paralysis, because yes, there's a lot of markets that are saturated, for example, social media. Okay, but you can be smart enough and you can just think about it. You can look for gaps in the market. So for example, I looked at the gaps in terms of startup entrepreneurs, or for like my audience, you guys who are starting out businesses who don't necessarily have a marketing budget. Okay, so I've put services and products together and in place that'll help you market your brand or your business proficiently. So there's always smarter ways of doing it, and there's always going to be gaps in markets that you can capitalize on, because after all, that is one of the key traits of an entrepreneur, is identifying an opportunity and maximizing or capitalizing on that opportunity. Okay, but getting back to the video, so if you're not sure what you want to do, there's quite a few things you can do, which is exactly that. So start off, maybe starting a business, where you don't invest a lot of your time or money into it, but obviously whatever you do, the time you do spend on that specific project or business, make sure that you give 120%. So you could try different things, okay? Test it out, maybe trial it for a month or 3 months, okay? See how it works. Obviously, I'm not very good at market research. I know, I can understand data. I'm not a very analytical person, so I would need to employ someone or hire someone to do that for me. But if you are, then go full out to do market research before you wanna, hit or go into a specific industry or start a business. But just be very careful, because a lot of guys who are, I think it's, the analytical guys, I don't know if it's, I think left brain. The left brain is analytical, right? I'm right brain, so I'm not analytical. Yeah. So those guys tend to just overanalyze everything, and before you know it, 3 months has gone by and you haven't done anything, okay? So don't fall into the trap of analysis paralysis. Guys, remember, entrepreneurship is it's not the same as working for someone, okay? It's often the exact opposite. Okay, so when you're an employee, you get trained to do certain things, and there's a lot of systems, and there's a lot you can take out, if you were an employee to step into business, but it's two different worlds. Okay, so what works in the world of an employee is not necessarily going to work in the world of an entrepreneur. So entrepreneurship is often making mistakes, assessing, learning, and then improving. Employees, you got to get it right all the time, otherwise you get into shit. Okay, you get warnings, hearings, you get dismissed, all of that crap. Okay, so it's very different. So if you are, don't be apprehensive. Go out there. This is if you don't know what you're passionate about. Try a few things, guys. Okay, but don't invest too much money into it. And kind of just test the waters, see how it goes. Like I said, if you're analytical, do proper market research. There is a degree of research that you need to do before you start anything. Okay, so if you didn't know that, you do need to do a certain degree of research. Okay. Like I said, so I looked at the social media industry. It was very saturated. Everyone is a social media manager or consultant. Okay, so I found a kind of a bit of a gap for people who don't really have money to afford that. Okay, so I'm capitalizing on that. But my motives is to actually help startup entrepreneurs. It's not just the money. Obviously, I need to make money because I'm not a billionaire, so I need to make money too, because I have bills too. But so if you don't know what you're passionate about, you can do a few things, try a few things out, do the necessary research, test the waters, and if you like something, maybe it's not uncommon, but it does happen that you may get a fairly in a fairly short space of time, you can actually get a good degree of success. Okay, so maybe you find with your first try, you find a bunch of clients who are willing to pay you, and then you stick to that. The other way is obviously you look at solving problems. At the end of the day, what business really is, and this is one of the most, I think, probably profound definitions of business. All business is really solving a problem for someone and getting paid to do that. So that's really all business is, guys. It's solving problems for people. So I solve problems for startup entrepreneurs. So you need to go decide, in terms of finding your passion, what are the problems out there. To give you an example, I mentioned in a previous video when I resigned in 2013 from Woolies, I wanted to become a trader. I lost all my money within 6 months. So, it was my mother who said to me, stop focusing on money, but, go out and help people. Because she was a debt collector, I didn't want to be a debt collector. Like, even though you can make a lot of money in that industry, but you have to have hair in your teeth, you have to have thick skin and a lot of patience, okay, and a lot of people skills. So I did some research, again, like I said earlier, a small degree of research. And I came on debt counseling because I knew what it was like to get calls from creditors, people phoning me, harassing me for money, so, and not everyone can deal with it. So I wanted to help people who could relate and resonate to that scenario, having a lot of debt, having no income, basically just working to pay off debt. So I started a business exonerate around that specific, or in that specific industry, with the intention of helping people because I could relate to that and I wanted people to resonate and relate to my story. Okay, and it's doing fairly well. It's a year old now, just over a year, and it's growing nicely. Okay, it's not profitable yet, but it's growing nicely. So that's an example of solving problems for people. Okay, so like I said, there's two main things you can do. The first thing is trying a lot of things, different things out there, testing the market. Make sure you do your research. And then the second thing you can do is obviously looking at the problems that people have, or the problems out there, and you look to solve some of those problems. But try and keep it around things that you're interested in, again, because with the example in the video where I talk about your why, it makes things easier for you when the problems come. So if you are interested, or you're going into a venture or a project or starting a business around things that interest you, you are more likely to have a better degree of success than when you were to do something that you actually have no interest in. So after a month or 2 or 3, you're going to realize, I don't even like this shit. So you're not going to do it anyway. Okay? So I hope the video helps, guys. Just make sure you do your due diligence, a bit of research. Don't get stuck into analysis paralysis, okay? You're not an auditor. Try a few things out, okay? Or you can look for problems that people currently have, okay? Wish you all the best, and if you like the video, please comment, like, and share. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks.